Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to explore the hidden cellular mechanics behind why we get so utterly exhausted. I want you to imagine your body as a high-performance electric vehicle. Sure, you might have the sleekest exterior design, but if the internal engine fails, yeah, you're stuck in park. Which brings us to the core problem we're all staring down. Why are you always so tired? Well, going back to that EV analogy, if your battery cells simply can't hold a charge, you literally aren't going anywhere. And honestly, that's the frustrating everyday reality for millions of people suffering from chronic fatigue.
So to figure out this energy gap, we really have to pop the hood and look at the engines themselves, our mitochondria. And get this, these are actually ancient bacteria living inside of us. Their one job is taking the food we eat and the air we breathe and turning it into ATP energy. No mitochondria, no charge. Simple as that.
Moving on to Section 1, the cellular energy crisis, when your engine leaks.
See, as we get older, or if we're living highly sedentary, sugar-fueled lives, our engines physically decay. On one side, you've got these healthy, highly efficient engines. But on the other, they mutate into what scientists literally call zombie cells. They can't produce energy anymore, but they refuse to die, so they just pile up and cause massive cellular trash buildup.
And worse, while they're just sitting there taking up space, these zombie cells leak exhaust fumes into your system. We call these reactive oxygen species. This constant toxic leaking triggers a systemic process known as inflammaging. And scientists are now pointing to inflammaging as the root cause of pretty much all age-related disease.
All right, Section 2, triggering the cleanup crew, taking out the cellular trash.
So, how do we fix this? Well, your body actually has a built-in internal trash collector, a process called mitophagy. It works in 3 steps. First, it hunts down those broken, leaking zombie cells. Second, it breaks them completely down. And third, it recycles those microscopic parts to build brand new, super efficient engines.
But here's the catch. Your body absolutely will not clean house if you're just lounging on the couch. We have to rely on hormetic stress. It's basically the biological version of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We have to put our cells under a bit of temporary, controlled pressure to actually force them to adapt.
You can trigger that stress in a few ways. Cold thermogenesis, like hopping into an ice bath, forces your body to burn fat for heat, which instantly kills off the weak engines. Or you can go the opposite route with high heat in a sauna. That activates heat shock proteins, which act like tiny molecular chaperones to fix damaged proteins.
Let's head into Section 3, upgrading your spark plugs, the role of NAD+.
Now, I want you to look at this statistic because it's kind of shocking. Our NAD+ levels drop by roughly 50% every 20 years. That means by the time you hit 40, your cellular spark plugs are only half as effective as they were in your 20s. It perfectly explains that sudden, exhausting aging cliff we all feel. But good news, modern science lets us fight back. We can use precursors like NMN and NR to rebuild those NAD+ stores. That activates your longevity genes, called Sirtuins, to go in and repair DNA breaks. We can even use targeted red light therapy to stimulate specific enzymes and boost energy production, literally without eating a single bite of food. A quick warning here, though. Just as light can heal, it can definitely harm. Your mitochondria run on their own strict circadian rhythms. Staring at late-night blue light from your screens completely scrambles these clocks. It tricks your engines into working overtime right when they're supposed to be powering down for repairs. Moving to Section 4, tuning the human engine, movement and micronutrients. When it comes to exercise, you actually need 2 totally different approaches. Steady Zone 2 cardio is your Goldilocks zone. It multiplies the sheer number of engines you possess. On the flip side, high-intensity interval training puts your system under immense pressure to build the actual horsepower of each individual engine. You really need both. Now for micronutrients. It's staggering, but 70% of people are deficient in magnesium. Why does that matter? Well, on a microscopic level, every single ATP energy molecule your body makes has to bind to a magnesium ion to actually work. If you're deficient, your energy is quite literally locked away. We also need a couple of essential engine additives. CoQ10 acts like synthetic oil, smoothly moving electrons right down your cellular assembly line. And then there's PQQ. Think of it as the architect. It triggers spontaneous mitochondrial biogenesis, which is essentially adding brand new cylinders to your engine while you're speeding down the highway. All right, Section 5, fueling and resting.
optimizing intake and recovery.
A perfectly tuned engine is completely worthless if you're putting bad gas in the tank. Your mitochondria absolutely thrive on the clean burn of healthy fats, producing ketones with very low oxidative stress. But massive sugar spikes, that causes a cellular backfire, overwhelming the mitochondria and physically damaging their delicate membranes. Honestly, though, sometimes the absolute best fuel is no fuel at all. Fasting for 16 to 18 hours is just a massive biological hack. Through a process called autophagy, your body gets hungry and actually consumes its own decaying zombie mitochondria for fuel. It cleans house, leaving only the youngest, most efficient engines behind. Remember, your energy isn't just about what's on your plate. We have to watch out for invisible drainers. Poor deep sleep completely blocks your brain from flushing out daily metabolic waste. Processed oils cause gut inflammation that powers down your cells. And chronic stress, that cortisol physically jams up your mitochondrial function.
Okay, final part, section 6. The future of longevity, reversing your biological age.
The amazing thing is, we aren't just guessing about this stuff anymore. By measuring the health of your mitochondria with epigenetic clocks, scientists can pinpoint your true biological age, which might look drastically different from the age on your driver's license. Your biological age is highly flexible, and it's completely under your control.
When you focus on these tiny cellular powerhouses, you're not just trying to beat the 3 p.m. afternoon slump. You're actively investing in a significantly longer, more vibrant life. Ultimately, you are the architect of your own energy. So, how are you going to upgrade your cellular engine today?